Sophia loved sweets. From chocolate to cakes, there was no dessert she didn't adore. But there was one thing Sophia struggled with: learning English. Even though she tried her best, sometimes the words felt so hard to remember. She knew that practice was important, but she couldn't help feeling bored with the usual lessons. One bright Saturday morning, while walking down her neighborhood street, Sophia noticed something unusual. A small, colorful shop stood at the corner, shining under the sun. The windows were filled with every kind of sweet you could imagine: lollipops, cakes, cookies, and chocolates. But the most exciting part? Everything in the shop was written in English. Curious, Sophia walked inside, the doorbell ringing as she entered. A friendly old man greeted her with a big smile. "Hello. Welcome to my magical sweet shop. Would you like to learn English while tasting the best candies in town?" Sophia's eyes widened. Could it be true? Learn English through sweets? It sounded too good to be true, but she was willing to give it a try. The old man handed her a colorful lollipop and said, "Every sweet here will teach you something new in English. Ready to begin?" Sophia smiled and nodded. "Yes, I'm ready." She felt excited. Finally, a fun way to learn English. She turned to the viewers and said, "Hi there. My name is Sophia, and I've struggled with learning English, but today we'll learn together through sweets. Don't forget to turn on the subtitles and repeat after me for better pronunciation." The shop was small but cozy, with shelves filled with every sweet treat Sophia could imagine. The air smelled of sugar and vanilla, making her feel like she was in a dream. The walls were decorated with bright colors, and the floor was covered with a soft red carpet. The store was quiet except for the soft hum of the music playing in the background. Sophia could barely take her eyes off the array of delicious-looking candies in front of her. But there was something even more intriguing than the sweets themselves: the labels on each one: lollipop, chocolate, cake, and candy. All the names were written in English, and each word seemed to come to life as Sophia looked at them. The old man smiled as he noticed Sophia's excitement. "Would you like to try something?" he asked, pointing to the lollipops on the counter. "Each sweet here teaches you a new word. You can learn while enjoying something delicious." Sophia was intrigued. "Learn while eating? That sounds amazing," she exclaimed. "I've been trying to learn English for a while, but sometimes I get bored. I need something fun." The old man nodded wisely. "That's exactly why I created this shop. Learning should always be fun. And with each candy, I'll teach you a new word. Let's start with this one," he said, handing her a bright pink lollipop. "This is a lollipop. Can you say it?" Sophia smiled and repeated after him, "Lollipop." It felt good to say it out loud. The word sounded sweet, just like the candy in her hand. "Great," the old man said, beaming. "Now, whenever you see a lollipop, you'll know how to say it in English. Lollipop. You can use it in a sentence too, like, 'I want a lollipop.' Can you say that?" Sophia's eyes lit up. "I want a lollipop," she repeated. It felt good to say the sentence. She could already imagine herself using it in a real conversation. Perfect. "Now, let's move on to something else," the old man said, walking over to the next shelf. He pointed to a jar filled with chocolate bars. "This is chocolate. Say it with me, chocolate." Sophia repeated the word, and as she did, she felt more and more confident. "Chocolate," she said, smiling. "This is going to be so much fun," Sophia thought to herself as she took a bite of the lollipop. She could already tell that this was the beginning of something special, a fun way to learn English, one candy at a time. Sophia's excitement grew with each new sweet she tasted. As she finished the last bite of her lollipop, the old man smiled and handed her a small piece of chocolate. "Here, try this one. It will teach you another word." Sophia took the chocolate and eagerly unwrapped it. The rich, smooth smell of cocoa filled the air as she took a small bite. "This is delicious," she said, savoring the taste. The old man chuckled. "Chocolate is always a favorite. Let's practice saying it together. Chocolate," he said slowly. "Chocolate," Sophia repeated, feeling proud. "Great job. Now, let's use it in a sentence. I want chocolate. Can you say that?" "I want chocolate," Sophia said with a smile. "Perfect," the old man said, giving her a thumbs up. "You're doing great. Now, let's try another one." He walked over to the counter and picked up a small cake from the display. "This is a cake," he said, holding it out. "It's another simple word, but it's one you'll use often. Can you say cake?" Sophia repeated the word cake. It was a word she already knew, but saying it in English felt different. It felt more real. The old man smiled. "Now let's practice saying, 'I want cake.' Can you try that?" "I want cake," Sophia said. It felt good to practice, and even though it was just one sentence, it was one step closer to speaking English with confidence. They continued with more sweets. Every time Sophia tried a new candy, she learned a new word. The old man handed her a cookie next. "This is a cookie," he said. Sophia repeated the word after him, cookie. Then they moved on to a candy bar. "This is a candy bar," the old man said, showing her the bright packaging. Sophia repeated, "Candy bar." She started to notice something amazing. These words weren't so hard to remember anymore. Associating them with real objects and situations made them easier to learn. As the lesson continued, Sophia practiced sentences like, "I want cake," "I like cookies," and "Do you want a candy bar?" She repeated them with the old man, who gave her feedback on her pronunciation. At one point, the old man asked, "Do you want to learn more words? Or should we take a break?" Sophia thought for a moment and then said, "Let's keep going. I'm having fun and I feel like I'm learning so much already." "All right then," the old man said, handing her another sweet. "This is a donut." Sophia repeated the word donut with excitement. "Donut," she said proudly. Good job. Now, let's use it in a sentence. I want a donut. Can you say that? I want a donut, Sophia said, feeling more confident each time. They moved on to more words: cupcake, marshmallow, and candy, each time practicing simple sentences like, I want a cupcake, I like marshmallows, and do you want candy? With each new word, Sophia's confidence grew. She felt like a part of her English vocabulary was building in a way that felt natural. She wasn't just memorizing words, she was connecting them to things she loved, and that made them easier to remember. After a while, the old man asked, How are you doing so far, Sophia? Are you ready to try a conversation using the words you've learned? Sophia's eyes lit up. Yes, I feel ready. The old man smiled and said, Okay, let's do a role play. I'll be the customer and you'll be the shopkeeper. Let's see how many new words you can use. Sophia stood up, excited. She took a deep breath and smiled. Welcome to my sweet shop. What would you like today? The old man smiled and replied, I'd like a candy bar, please. Sophia grinned and replied, Sure, one candy bar coming right up. Anything else? The old man thought for a moment and said, I'll also have a donut. Sophia continued with the role play, adding more words she had learned. Would you like some chocolate with that? She asked. We have cupcakes, marshmallows, and lollipops as well. By the end of the role play, Sophia had used almost every word she had learned so far, and she felt proud of herself. This is amazing. I can actually have a conversation in English about sweets, she exclaimed. You've done a wonderful job, the old man said, giving her a warm smile. You've learned so many words today, and you've already started using them in conversations. That's a big accomplishment. Sophia felt a sense of pride. Learning English didn't feel so scary anymore. It felt exciting, especially when she could connect the words to things she loved. And today she'd learned so many new words in a fun and meaningful way. Sophia sat down with the old man, feeling excited about all the new words she had learned. But now, it was time for a little break from the sweets and a closer look at the words they had practiced. Let's go over the words we learned today, the old man said. I'll explain how to use them in different situations, so you can feel confident using them in real life. Sophia nodded, ready to learn more. First, the old man began, we learned lollipop. This is a fun word, isn't it? A lollipop is a sweet treat on a stick, and it's often a favorite for kids. You can use it in sentences like, I want a lollipop, or do you have any lollipops? It's a simple way to talk about a favorite candy. Sophia repeated, I want a lollipop, practicing the sentence again. She smiled. It was starting to feel easier. Great. Next, we have chocolate. Chocolate is a common word because it's so popular. You can use it in sentences like, I like chocolate, or can I have some chocolate? Remember, we use like to talk about things we enjoy. Sophia repeated, I like chocolate. She smiled again. It felt like she was getting the hang of it. Now, let's talk about cake. Cake is a delicious treat often served at parties or celebrations. You can use it in sentences like, I want cake, or do you have any cake? It's a word you can use at many occasions. I want cake, Sophia repeated with enthusiasm. She could imagine saying this to her friends or family at a party. The old man continued, explaining each word one by one. Cookie is another simple word. You can say, I want a cookie, or do you have cookies? Cookies are another favorite treat, and you can use this word in so many situations. I want a cookie, Sophia said, feeling more and more confident. Then we learned candy bar. A candy bar is a popular snack, and you can ask, can I have a candy bar? Or say, I like candy bars. It's a word you'll hear often. I like candy bars, Sophia repeated, feeling proud of how much she had learned. Now, let's talk about donut, the old man said. A donut is a round fried treat with a hole in the middle. You can say, I want a donut, or do you have any donuts? Sophia said, I want a donut, and laughed. She loved donuts, and now she could say it in English. The old man went on, explaining other words they had learned, like cupcake, marshmallow, and candy. Sophia repeated each one, practicing both the words and the sentences. I want a cupcake, I like marshmallows, and can I have some candy? Became easier to say. As the session continued, Sophia started to realize something. Learning English didn't have to be difficult. In fact, it could be a lot of fun, especially when she connected the words to things she enjoyed. And with each new word, she felt more capable of having real conversations in English. The old man smiled at her. You're doing amazing, Sophia. Remember, practicing these words in different situations will help you remember them better. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Sophia nodded eagerly. I will practice every day, she said, feeling more confident than ever. The old man clapped his hands together. Now that we've gone over everything, it's time for you to practice what you've learned. I have some challenges for you, Sophia, and I want you to try them out. Sophia was ready. She felt confident after the educational analysis and was eager to put her new vocabulary to the test. Let's start with the first challenge, the old man said. You're going to use the words you've learned to create some sentences. I'll give you a few prompts, and you'll answer using the new words. Sophia nodded enthusiastically. I'm ready, the old man smiled and began. Okay, first question. What do you want to eat right now? You can use any of the words we've learned. Sophia thought for a moment. I want chocolate, she said, her eyes lighting up. And I also want a donut. Great. Now, let's try a different one. The old man said, if you're at a party, what kind of sweets do you want to eat? Sophia smiled. I want cake and I want cookies too. The old man gave a thumbs up. Perfect. You're doing great. Now, let's practice another type of sentence. If you were offering sweets to a friend, how would you ask them what they want? Sophia thought carefully and said, "Do you want a lollipop or a candy bar?" "That's an excellent question. You're really getting the hang of this," the old man said, clearly impressed. "Okay, let's move to the next challenge," he continued. "Now I want you to imagine you're at a store. You want to buy a sweet treat. How would you ask the shopkeeper for a cupcake or marshmallow?" Sophia grinned. "Can I have a cupcake, please? Or maybe some marshmallows?" "Wonderful," the old man said. "You're using the words in so many different ways. Now, let's try something else." The old man pulled out a piece of paper with a short conversation written on it. "Here's a role play. I'll be the customer and you'll be the shopkeeper. We're going to have a little conversation and I want you to use all the words you've learned." Sophia read over the script, which looked like this. Customer: "Hello, I'd like some sweets." Shopkeeper: "Sure, what would you like?" "We have chocolate, cupcakes, and lollipops." Customer: "I'll have a chocolate and a cupcake, please." Shopkeeper: "Great choice. Would you like anything else? Maybe a candy bar or a marshmallow?" Customer: I'll try a candy bar too, thank you." The old man smiled and said, "Let's do this together. I'll be the customer first. You're the shopkeeper. Ready?" Sophia nodded and took a deep breath. She was excited for this challenge. "Yes, let's do it." They started the conversation, each using the sentences they had practiced. Sophia felt nervous at first, but soon the words started coming out naturally. She smiled as she said, "Sure. What would you like?" "We have chocolate, cupcakes, and lollipops." The old man replied, "I'll have a chocolate and a cupcake, please." Sophia answered, "Great choice. Would you like anything else? Maybe a candy bar or a marshmallow?" The role play continued, and with every line, Sophia felt more comfortable. By the end of the conversation, she realized how far she had come. She was speaking English fluently, using the words she had learned in real sentences and situations. "Well done, Sophia," the old man said. "You've done an excellent job today. You've used every word you learned, and you've done it in conversations too. That's how you get better at speaking English, by practicing in real situations." Sophia felt proud. "Thank you. I really enjoyed this, and I'm going to practice every day so I can get even better." Sophia stood up, feeling a sense of accomplishment she had never felt before. It wasn't just about the new words she had learned, it was about the confidence she had gained in using English in real conversations. She looked at the old man with a big smile. "Thank you so much for today," Sophia said. "I never thought learning English could be this fun. I feel like I can actually use these words in real life now." The old man nodded, his eyes twinkling with pride. "You've done a wonderful job, Sophia. Remember, every little step you take is progress. You don't have to be perfect, but you do need to keep practicing. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become." Sophia nodded. "I promise I will. I'm going to journey." Before leaving, Sophia turned to the old man one last time. Thank you again for everything. I'll be back soon to learn more words and have more fun. The old man smiled warmly. I'll be here, Sophia. Keep practicing and remember, learning is a journey, not a race. You're doing amazing. As Sophia walked out of the shop, she felt lighter than ever. She was ready to take on the world with her new English skills. She knew that with each day of practice, she would get closer to speaking. Practice every day, and soon I'll be able to talk to anyone in English. That's the spirit, the old man said, smiling. You've already come so far. Learning a language takes time, but every word you learn brings you closer to your goal. You're on the right path. Sophia felt inspired. She knew she still had a long way to go, but today was a turning point. She could see how learning English could be fun and meaningful when connected to things she loved. And she was excited to continue her English fluently, and she was excited to see where the journey would take her.